Is you recording? Mic check, mic check. Keep going. We'll let them all viewers know you're like. I don't even give a fuck. I just want to record this real quick. A lot of y'all ass the police out there, boy. I'm protein takeover. Fuck is you talk about? This Planet of the Apes. Fuck is you talk about? I'm protein takeover. You rather the police take over or you rather the motherfucking teens take over this bitch? Now, funny thing about it, y'all calling it teen takeover. Funny thing is, this is exactly how the civil rights movement started. This is how a lot of the black organizations started, because it was a lot of police brutality then, and it was a lot of teens that got tired of that shit, and they formed organizations that's now y'all letting them call our shit gangs. Y'all letting them call our government street gangs and shit. That's our government. Y'all letting them call it gangs. Those was originally nations and tribes. Y'all letting them call our shit gangs, and y'all voting for them to lock us up. A lot of y'all the police, because y'all as goddamn it calling the police to get us locked up. I see y'all, goddamn it. I see y'all, man, in the comments and all, man, where these parent kids at? Where these, man, them motherfucking teens out there got the heart to do what y'all ain't got the heart to do, because y'all comfortable accepting y'all pay from these motherfuckers, man. And y'all see what's going on. But this Planet of the Apes, leave them motherfucking teenagers alone. That's all the rage that everybody else feeling. They tired of being oppressed. They know what it feel like to be oppressed. So you know what? They say, fuck it. We gonna be like our ancestors. So what, y'all some house niggas now? Y'all want the teenagers locked up now for feeling like how y'all felt when y'all was younger? And how y'all still feel now, huh? Y'all want our teenagers locked up for feeling like the shit is wrong that we being put through. I mean, the police done locked up mostly everybody in the community, and they living good off of that. Shit, they living great. And now they got the media calling this a teen takeover, so that they can be at work getting hella overtime. Y'all don't know the games that these police play to get money, man. They doing this 24/7. They on the clock 24/7. Billing. Any little thing to do. There is no emergency, family. We don't need them unless it's an emergency. If it's not an emergency, and they don't have a judicial warrant, we not even supposed to see police. That means in our hood, it's too many of them. Way too many of them, because we don't even supposed to see them unless it's an emergency. But a lot of y'all that turned into house niggas because y'all vote for police. You went and joined them. You support them. And you see what they doing. The police departments that done far worse than any kingpin or drug lord ever known to fucking man. The police human traffic your ass, right? They catch you right in traffic, and you take you with them. The fuck you mean? That's human trafficking. There is no other such thing as a human but your flesh and blood living ass. What do you mean? They human trafficking in our ass right under our nose, and we don't peep it. And they got us thinking we persons. We ain't no motherfucking persons. Them bitches is human trafficking. They got jails and prisons overcrowded because they able to buy and sell debt. So they use you as a reason to create new debt, but the debt is large enough for them to still live good. This is what's called the debt buying racket. They're able to make money. So because they bankrupt, technically they can't have lawful money. So they keep making debt on top of debt on top of debt on top of debt so that they can survive. Because if anything of substance ever enter into their system, like a creditor, if you giving credit to something that they doing and they bankrupt, oh, that's how you become the boss over the whole transaction. That's how you become the authority. You the one paying for this. You the one. So your information is being used. That's currency. Your information is your credit that they accessing. Soon as they get your information, they able to fill out paperwork and able to use that paperwork to tie it to connect it to financial instruments. And then they get insurance on the financial instruments, and they just having a fucking ball with this shit. They even tell you like you going to bond court. So they like play on people ignorance. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say, leave the motherfucking teenagers alone, nigga. At one point in time, see, it's like history repeating itself. On one hand, y'all out there protesting, doing y'all thing. Leave them motherfucking teenagers alone. And y'all, they don't want to be governed. Yeah, and a lot of y'all is voting to be held in servitude because you want people to tell you what to do. But y'all want to act like free people. So you double-minded and you don't understand what the fuck is going on. You don't understand civics. You think voting is going to like solve your issues. No. That's putting you further under somebody else's command. But you think you free. So you fighting for the right to vote within somebody else's society, within somebody else's government, within their system. So what I'll be trying to get my message across to the so-called black people is you could always leave if you don't like how because you're giving your consent to be treated like that. You don't have to protest with these people about how they governing you. On one hand, you don't have to be fucking governed or told what to do at all, but y'all completely missing that part. And you like, I got the right to vote, goddammit, and I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna vote for whoever. And you see what they doing. You don't understand the vote system in civics and how it is. It's a corporate government. It's de facto. As long as you understand how corporations are able to survive during a bankruptcy, it's a reorganization. They have no money. Every corporation bankrupt. That means they insolvent. They don't have it to pay. I mean, it ain't no secret. They declared this. So if they insolvent, like they saying they is, then how is they able to function then? Then you have to understand accounting. You have to understand banking. Because that was their whole system is designed by bankers. Because the creditors are the reason why they had to declare bankruptcy in the first place, because they were borrowing. And when United States, when they couldn't pay what was owed, they went into debt. You see what I'm saying? When they went into debt, And just like any other bankruptcy proceeding, you got a creditor and you have a debtor. United States is in debt to other nations. But that's the United States business. What black people need to realize is that, hey, you know what? We don't fucking need the United States at all. We still gonna be on North America, but we can completely separate ourselves from United States and let them conduct their own affairs while we build, I don't know, African American of United States or whatever the fuck y'all want to call y'all own shit. But you need a Declaration of Independence. As black people, you need your own shit. Y'all in the civil rights movement join their government. And you like, why y'all treating us like this? We're supposed to be equal this and equal that. Y'all, I'm going to say this again. You joined they shit back in the civil rights movement. Understand what that meant though, man. Y'all all know how it is when you go to somebody else's house and you live in somebody else's house. You got to follow their rules. When you a guest in somebody's house, you got to follow their rules. When you a guest in somebody else's country, you got to follow their customs as well. When you're a guest in somebody else's block, you got to be in compliance with how shit is ran on this block. So it's the same. It's the same. You just got to know where you at, and you got to know what apply, when, where, and why. So the thing about it is police have been, for the longest, exercising powers that they do have, but they've been exercising it in the wrong, unconstitutional kind of way. And to prove this, if anybody don't believe me, Chicago Police Department right now is still under the Department of Justice consent decree. They've been found to have been violating human rights, not just civil, Nick. We're talking human rights. For at least a decade, they said. I read, it said Department of Justice sued City of Chicago Police Department. In that lawsuit, so that's federal versus City of Chicago Police Department. DOJ, Department of Justice, they sued them. They're like, yeah, y'all can't keep doing this shit, y'all. Y'all violating people's rights with all this excessive force and lying in reports and that. So when DOJ sued City of Chicago Police Department, their investigation went back at least 10 years. So what that meant was, at the very least, within that 10-year period, everybody that was arrested by Chicago police should not be in prison, and they should be motherfucking receiving some form of compensation. Cause that's pretty much, you got the federal government just sued these motherfuckers, proved their case, and won, and got a consent decree that Chicago Police Department have to comply with. They have to make these changes. You just lost in court again. So for at least 10 years, they've been violating human rights. Not just civil rights, human rights. So now, knowing that, you could go look that case up, use the information that's in that case against them same officers, because they still under the consent decree. And last time I checked, it was an oversight hearing on how well they have been in compliance with this. They said, fuck that consent decree. Hey, they still doing the same shit. So what that mean for you? If you got a case, if they put a case on you and they knowing that they under that consent decree and they still doing the same shit, and you just so happen to come in contact with them and they violate your rights, you don't think you're gonna win your case? It's federal. See, federal check the state in court. They tell them where they go wrong at. So when you got an issue against the state, you want to look for federal cases against the state. You want to look for Supreme Court cases against the state. You don't want to look for them circuit court cases. That's where they playing at. That's like they tennis court. That's basically what they doing. They playing table tennis. You got the prosecutor on one side, defendant on one side, and a goofy ass referee up there with no stripes, just a black robe on. The referee. It's like table tennis in court. But you can settle these matters out of court. They don't explain to you about how to do all of these things because that will be exposing their racket of what they're doing. All of these corporate states is basically running a RICO and they paying taxes. Who they paying taxes to? Well, what union are they a part of? These are all civic questions. Mack it back. Hey, back at work. I'm a newly sworn. Shout out to my boy. What fucked up is I bet you it's black people that still support my mans without knowing the answers to the questions. Just cause his shade or his. First of all, he got on a uniform, nigga. You got to know there's something wrong with him. He wearing a costume. He like Captain fucking Crunch up here. Don't know the answers to nothing that how you get those stripes? If he was in the streets, and he was asking type of questions, he didn't know them answers, something would have happened to him. He ain't know none of the answers. He tried his ass off. That's crazy. He ain't know none of them. Mecklenburg County. That motherfucker there crazy, boy. That's my man's though. Shout out to him. If you ever want to get a good ass laugh, go to my TikTok page, Smart OK Vibe. I think that's what I'm on. Go to my page. Go to that first video. Go to that first video that I got pinned on my page all the way to the left. Click on that video. If you want to see some important but some embarrassing shit too. And I'm talking, not only should he be embarrassed, I'm talking not only should that sheriff be embarrassed, everybody who voted for him should be they need to stop all elections until these motherfuckers can start passing civics tests. That's what need to happen. Fuck a vote. Y'all talking vote. You need to understand. Why you even a citizen in the first fucking place anyway? When I found out what a citizen was, I got out that shit as quickly as I fucking could. The fuck? Citizen? When I found out what that shit meant, I don't want to be nothing when I know what it means. Hell no. What? Y'all not looking this shit up. Y'all claiming to be out there. Y'all just willy-nilly, like my boys say. Y'all just out there just saying y'all this because you think it's right. Not knowing the legal and lawful consequences. I learned that shit the hard way. Steady getting falsely arrested. I'm knowing in my heart this shit wrong. But being able to prove it is a whole nother thing. And being able to prove it in a system that don't want you to prove it. I'm about to be 40 motherfucking years old, nigga. I got my first arrest when I was like 9, nigga. They thought they fucked my life up, but I was just learning the whole time. I was learning the whole time because shit, nigga, you ain't just about to. Nigga got a pattern. They do the same shit over and over and over and over and over. So all you gotta do is learn. Like they use, if you pay attention to police, they only use certain words. They don't even use the whole English language when they talk. They use certain words, and everything they say is meant to incriminate your motherfucking ass. Because everything they say is supposed to extract information out of you, and more information they get out you, more paperwork they able to do. More paperwork they able to do, the more they get paid. That's why they need information. They sell data. Police. They sell data because they got to fill out reports. Especially they got to fill out reports if they ain't made no arrest. Because they got to answer, well, what the fuck is you out there doing? Because we hired you to make arrests. We don't give a fuck if they did it or not. That ain't what we asked you to do. We told you to go arrest. And the officer can't say, I'm not doing it. Well, you ain't getting no motherfucking paycheck from us. So what officers don't realize is that since it was 100% white police departments during the civil rights movement, them motherfuckers didn't go nowhere just because black people started joining police department. They moved up the chain of command so that they could be able to control black police officers that's now joining law enforcement. So when these police out here telling you we follow orders, yeah, we know. We know where the fuck these orders coming from. It coming from who owned your motherfucking ass. And you ain't got the heart to. So I see a lot of black high-ranking law enforcement officers that would rather resign than to get on some Nat Turner shit and just round up black officers and get on some. They ain't got that kind of. They would rather resign their position. Well, go on then with your bitch ass. You was the police any fucking way. That's just crazy to me. You will work your whole life to get to that level, that rank, and let them push you out instead of standing your ground. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Fuck it. I'm gonna go. How you a black officer and don't goddamn it, put that uniform on and act like you don't remember everything the police been doing to black motherfuckers all these years, and still doing it right now. You cannot. So that would let me know it's something wrong with these people. Something wrong with them. They shoulder to shoulder and they watching. So when they was growing up and they was goddamn it getting taught civil rights movement and how the police was beating our ancestors motherfucking ass and sicking dogs on them and all this shit. First of all, y'all joined them. Instead of staying separated, we joined them. And when we joined that shit, they moved up the chain of command so that it would still be a separation no matter what, but we could at least make it look like we integrated with them. But no, y'all let them take all the board seats to still be in position of governance over you. And now y'all talk about we want to vote for some shit that they is hijacked. We don't have to participate in they stuff at all. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. We could go make our own. We don't have to be in none of their societies. We don't have to use their money. We don't have to be a part of none of it. We could get them back they shit. Yeah, take this raggedy shit and give us back what belong to us. And all our original titles and everything. Everything that, because this is what y'all don't realize, black people. We are black people. This is what you don't realize. The United States owes you a large portion of the debt that the United States is in is to the original natives of this land. And so that's black people. But you can't even get the interest that you entitled to from all these generations because you in an improper status. You ain't even claiming what your ancestors was claiming to be. You claiming a whole different status that they came along and they made up, and it's colorable. It ain't real. So y'all like, we want reparations. And they mocking y'all because you really ain't never gonna get reparations. Not in the black status, you ain't. You have to be nationalized, like Malcolm X was telling y'all. You have to be part of a nation in order to receive reparations. Now, I mean, shit, black is not a nationality though. There's no way to piece that together and put that together because it's three main components of what it consists of being a nation of people. Now, they have a flag. It's an African American flag even, but they ain't declared it to be the national flag for black people though. They need that. Black people need a Declaration of Independence, and they need their own army, and they need their own money. And we really got all of that. It just ain't organized. And so the problem is y'all giving y'all power away to foreign people to be the boss over you, even though y'all don't even want to be told what to do. A lot of y'all don't even want your own motherfucking parents to tell you what to do. So what y'all doing is giving foreigners the power to tell you what to do when you give your consent. You give your consent for them to govern over you instead of you being independent like you supposed to be. See, when you do it, it's not slavery no more because you agreeing to it. See, they tricking you, and they tricking you. That's what it is. I love my people. That's the only reason why I be getting up here saying something, because I don't have to tell y'all shit for real. But I don't think that's the reason why I'm even on this planet. I think I was sent here to discover they secrets that they hiding from y'all and come and bring it in a way that it makes sense. Because where I'm from, motherfuckers do, it's not, it's heavily attacked area with these frequencies. They got frequency weapons to keep people in a certain state of consciousness that they don't even realize matters, because they don't talk the electrical side of ourselves. We focus on materialistic 3D. Leave them motherfucking teenagers alone. Because at one point, them teenagers was young warriors. They sick of this shit like we sick of this shit. The police is overly doing too motherfucking much. And when I go in these comments and I see how y'all is talking about these motherfucking teenagers and how they mamas and shit and all this shit need to get them, well, y'all is the same motherfuckers that's voting for them police to lock up everybody in the fuck community in the first place. Maybe they parents is unlawfully incarcerated some motherfucker where. Y'all ever think of that? While y'all in them comments talking shit about them teens and y'all don't know what the fuck them teens going through. They sick of this shit. Every day they gotta deal with them motherfucking patrol officers on these streets like they own it. They don't own these streets. The city don't own this shit, or the motherfucking state don't own this shit, or no federal government don't own this shit. We the rightful owners of all this land and all this soil. Leave them motherfucking teenagers alone. They ain't to be fucked with. They in their freedom and they in their liberty. Then where the fuck do where do the executive branch get they authority to tell the motherfucking teenagers what to do then? Y'all tell them to come answer that shit then. If they don't have a warrant, I don't give a fuck about no lawful order and all that goofy shit that they be talking about. That's not a lawful order that you could give to somebody that's not in your chain of command. Can the executive branch issue lawful orders? Yes, they can. Can they issue lawful orders over a civilian population? No, they cannot. The civilians is the motherfuckers who appoint them, the executive branch, as representatives. They servants. Y'all need to understand the structure of this government. We, the people, if we don't have an oath to be a public servant, then you're not a public servant. It's really just that simple. If you ain't getting paid and your paycheck don't say city of or state of, then you not them. You still in possession of your rights and your immunities because you ain't never waived it to join them unless you sign some shit that you joined them. And it's really just that simple. And if you did, you still hold the power of the living word to revoke any contract that you might have entered into. Knowingly, willingly, or voluntarily, it don't make a difference. Can't nobody force you to stay in an agreement that you not comfortable with or you wasn't given full disclosure of the terms and conditions or what rights you might, because you can't even waive your, that's what's crazy. You always in possession of, right? That's why it's called inherent. Inherently, you have inherent rights, inherent, and they inalienable. They can't be separated from you. Your rights. So what they do is they structure their agreements in a way for you to waive. Yo, what the fuck is a waive? I don't even know. Y'all, man, I'm not waiving shit. I'm not waiving none of my rights. No, sir. Not, especially not for no privileges. That's reducing your own status. And they can only do it through your agreement, man. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. So if y'all out there is giving y'all consent to be governed, you got no business mentioning nothing about our affairs when we not in the same alignment. I don't move with that mindset to be giving my consent to even be governed. My whole existence is about protecting and defending my individuality from being governed in the first place, because I'm already governed by natural law. I'm already governed by what I'm able to do, that my creator gave me gifts and the ability to already do. So if I'm restricted in any kind of way, if I'm not harming another man, woman, child, nothing, and they don't have no warrant, y'all need to start taxing these people, man. They making so much money per arrest. Yeah. Now the rabbit got the gun. A big motherfucker gun. And the thing about it, my boy motherfucking Donald Trump, they locked him up. And everybody trying to figure out how my boy got out of jail. How he get out the jail. And the paperwork he filed, he could have restricted it and classified it and made it top secret, hid it. Did he do that? He released it. He released it to show the American people what you supposed to do to get up out them executive. And then, not only did he do that, he released Larry, where he pardoned Larry Hoover. So That would let me know, because Larry Hoover a chief. That's a king. He been declared a king, and I think that's why they locked him up in the first place, because he had a whole own nation. Own nation. See what I'm saying? These was nations that we was building, man. Nations. And they come along and say street gangs and all this other stupid shit. This was nation building that was going on. That's why you see an N on the end of these organizations. That N stand for nation. So where they get street organizations, all that stupid shit from, that's probably some shit that came from police departments or something like that. Giving them a reason to be in existence is they have to have something to police. Otherwise, we don't need them. But why in the fuck do we need police if we was already policing ourselves? We don't need them. So what they did was they tricked y'all into thinking that y'all need police, and now y'all voting for them. Y'all voted for them to lock up our government, but Donald Trump came along and said, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. And he taking it back where it's supposed to be. Otherwise, why? But the thing I don't like is, how they gonna say the federal how they gonna say motherfucking Donald Trump pardoned Larry Hoover on a federal level, but still got a state case? What the fuck? Federal Trump state. Period. When Trump pardoned him, he's supposed to be released right then and there. Because Trump is the chief of the executive branch. He the chief of the executive branch, in which the state cases, they pay taxes to the feds. So anyway, what that mean? The Fed got the final say so. So if Donald Trump say, pardon this man, he should have been released right then and there, wherever he was at, because it was an executive order for him to be released. So if he's still arrested, if he's still incarcerated, then that means that the state is in rebellion against the union that they entered into with the federal government. Now Trump already know by pardoning Larry Hoover that Larry Hoover is owed so much. He know that. Don't think somebody like Donald Trump didn't know what it meant to pardon somebody like Larry Hoover. Don't think, not for one minute. Don't you think that. He know what he doing. So when he said he pardoned on the federal level, it's because he knew he was never supposed to be incarcerated in the first place. So the way that they doing it, they trying to protect themselves from any further damage that already was done. But one thing you can't do now is you can't prove that Larry Hoover was ever arrested lawfully. Because now he was arrested by Chicago Police Department. That's the executive branch. They ain't had no judicial warrant. Whew, that's a violation of the Administrative Procedures Act. That's a law. Public law 404 79th Congress. So you see, Trump is chief of the executive branch, which is the Administrative Procedure Act. So he know that when Larry Hoover was originally arrested, it was a violation right then and there. And they kept building on top of the violations. And it was all done under color of law. So he pardoned them. But Trump out of pardoning everybody. Because he know Larry Hoover case is only one of them. They don't have jurisdiction or standing to have none of them in custody. Because all of them state cases is under color of law, man. They using statutes. It's the executive branch, and they not going to the judicial branch. They not going to the judicial branch to get warrants. We on to them. We on to them, family members. We know what they doing now. Stupid ass. Because we can read. And this is exactly why they ain't want us reading. I'm a prime example of why they don't want us to motherfucking read, because I learned they shit so raw they can't even, they like, damn, why don't you go get a lawyer? They want me to go get a lawyer. They hate that they got to deal directly with me. And they can't prove me wrong because they keep doing shit. And I keep finding it. They raw though. They so raw. They getting locked up in motherfucking police uniform. Shout out to the real law enforcement that's locking up law enforcement that don't know law. And they out here talking about they law enforcement. Bullying people on the road. It's not looking good for these folks. I'll tell you that, man. I'm on here a little bit longer than I even intended to be because I'm trying to do something. But I wanted to get that out. Man, leave the motherfucking teenagers alone, man. Fuck wrong with y'all, man. Stop acting like some house Negroes want to call the police and all that. It is what it is, nigga. The state is at war with us, nigga. It ain't no other way to put it. The police is out here at war with us. Leave the teenagers alone. A large majority of them are unarmed up against an army of blue. So it's just like the civil rights movement. Basically. I don't know, I wasn't there, but the footage I saw was the police against mobs of angry teenagers. Black teenagers. The motherfucking teen takeover. Motherfuckers just tired of being taken over. You ain't supposed to be getting permission from no motherfucker to have to go outside and play. What the fuck? The executive branch cannot issue no curfew. They don't make law. I don't get what y'all don't understand. Y'all giving them more power than they have. This is the executive branch. And they only exist to protect and defend your motherfucking rights. So what the police is out there doing, all that shit they doing, they is like, we don't even need y'all. If this is what y'all gonna be doing. That's why I said they need to be defunded. They need to be unarmed. We don't need police. We already got sheriffs. We don't need, what the fuck we need police for? We got sheriffs already. We don't need police. But now that they came and set up shop and they see how easy it is for them to make money off bodies, how they able to make money off information, because they really human trafficking. They need a human to have job security. It's called job security. But they work for a corporation though. Police don't work for no motherfucking king that's gonna grant you real living immunity and shit. That's what you're dealing with, a corporate government. They have no human rights to base. They don't get no fuck about human rights. They is pro bodies. They always been pro bodies. That's what the slavery stuff was about. They just hid it a little bit and started changing what they call it. That's why they said slavery abolished. That word got too hot. Fuck is you talk about? That's just like being on the phone and saying you got you in a drug deal and you like, yeah, I got keys and all this other shit. You just flat out telling on yourself. You ain't got no cold words or nothing, brother. You just gonna tell them what you got.
Gotta switch it up on knew they wasn't finna keep getting away with this shit. Well, slowly but surely, over time, shit started changing. And now we finally at the point we can really start making a change to get data out of it.
Yeah, it's got to be a change because it been going on for too long.
And now that we, the most people that we ever been, I would say about, even though we still oppressed, there's still way more of us though. They just trying to mind control us now, because they know they can't fuck with us, so they trying to separate us. Because our mind not in the right space.
So these seats, these others, so the other seats of government, like the House of Representatives and the senators and all of that, right? What black people need to understand is black people need to stop worried about what they doing. Get together as black people. You could do that in your church. All black people, all in this church. You can hold your own because that's really where your government at anyway. Your government supposed to be in your church. So when your church is abandoning the government position, or that's where they hope you giving them consent, because they replace your guardianship, and we don't like how they treat us. We see what they doing, but they making money off of it, so they don't care. They're like, shit, fuck it. It ain't my family. It ain't. What's gonna happen is they gonna let them lock all us up and unalive as many of us as they can before they turn on them.
Oh, the black police?
Yep.
Well, that's what they get for being coons. House Negroes. That'd be funny if that do happen. If Trump pardon everybody. They ain't gonna know what to do.
I mean, from what I could tell, he pretty much trying to clean up all the goddamn it. So what they was doing was the previous presidents before Donald Trump. What they was doing was so they know slavery never really stopped. They just by them stopped calling it that, but on their ledger, they got everybody as an asset. See, they got everybody on the general ledger for the United States. That's why when you come through the hospital, they give you your identification right there. So they could put you on the ledger right there as soon as you get here. They put you on the asset ledger. They put you on a capital ledger, on a human capital ledger. When you first get here as a baby. And they certify the record that they did it. Then they sell that information. I'm not lying. Y'all better go look at that. Y'all better go look at that video where all these departments is buying your information before you even leave the fucking hospital. Your information already and I can prove that right now. Before you leave the hospital, you already got a FICO score. Motherfucker, Equity Facts, TransUnion, and Experian already got your information and your ass, and you got a social security number and your ass got a FICO score already. You are already a creditor. Before you leave the hospital, you got full faith and credit. Before you leave the hospital. What that means is you able to use this currency over here. You able to make your own. Because you is collateral for whatever you gonna earn. But whatever you earn, we know you got to use these notes right here. And because we know you got the potential to earn so much because you're worth so much, we gon' speculate, we gonna guess that this one might be able to come and pull probably about, wait, what bloodline this one from? Ooh, he worth a lot. We gonna insure him with 400 quadrillion dollar in this secret account right here. Secured. See? Securities. That's what this is all about, because the system designed by bankers. Bankers love two things. They love security interest. They love security. That must be confirmation or some shit. They love security interest, and they love when you give your agreement. Because if you give your agreement, and without reserving your rights, then you isn't putting yourself in a category that you don't want to be in. You a hoe at that point, basically. Just gonna say it. You accommodating them any kind of way. They can use your information any kind of way they see fit. Basically, that's what that means. That's basically what it translates into. So when you got your own value that you want to put on yourself, you don't want to give the other party the power to control what your value is in this agreement. And a lot of the times, because we don't know how to negotiate these instruments, we accept value that we really not comfortable with, because we don't know no other way. We don't even know how to negotiate value. We think we got to accept the value that they offering us. But now, it's a remedy for that. It's a remedy because that's a trap. They has been making money off just bodies for look. So you could go to jail right now. With no money in your pocket. And when you go see the bond judge and they start saying all this type of numbers you won't even got, and you get lost in the sauce with everybody else, you gonna get the, man, I ain't do that shit, man. Why y'all setting my bond so high? And whole time you completely missing the fact that they need your information to do all of this. They need to put this bond in your name. But because we don't understand currency exchange, we think that just means I gotta go to the store, to the currency exchange. Nah, that's what these people doing. They exchanging your currency in exchange for them. So they making you use your time, your credit, your information by agreement. They make sure they finesse you out there. So basically, this is an easy way to understand this shit, right? What is going on in court is the same thing that happened at the car dealership. They trying to get an agreement, G. They trying to sell some debt. That's what they want to do. They want you to agree to it, though, because they need to use your information to do everything. If they get your information, they able to get some money. Fuck is you talking about? They able to get a lot of money. Because the state got their court connected to the treasury. That's where they getting all these motherfucking bonds and shit from. They got whole treasury. So when you sitting and holding, when you at the police station and you sitting and holding, and you like, why the fuck we gotta sit there so long? We gotta be there 10, 20 hours. They running your credit. Fuck is you talking about? They finna see how risky it is to let you go. That's what's gonna determine how high your bond gonna be. And then you only gotta pay a percentage of the bond for the bail portion. That's to get out. But when I started learning about the bond, I was telling them niggas that I was locked up with, I'm like, look, y'all, it's something about this bond that's real fucking important, bro. Y'all just like talking about the bail, but the bond control the whole case, though. Just pay the bond and go home. But that was when I was a shorty and I was still learning a lot of this. A lot of this financial literature about court cases, criminal cases and shit came from because I had started looking up bonds. And I started looking up bonds and I started studying stocks and bonds. And I'm like, oh shit, that's the same shit. I was like, and that's when I started to understand. I'm like, the state is a business. State of business. That's when I really started to understand. Cause I'm like, so when they say bond, that means they creating a value. Yes, absolutely. And that value, they put insurance on it, which is how they able to multiply that value. You see? See? If you go get insurance right now and you paying $10 a month, but they giving you $10,000 worth of coverage, did you just increase your value? Can you put that $10,000 on your ledger somewhere? That's what they doing. They use debt to get rich. And you got people out here that think the police need your tax dollars. No. They need your information. And they can make money. The bonds is the money. And you the collateral. They need you. So that just go to show you how valuable you are. So if you ain't getting nothing out of this transaction, then the terms wasn't negotiated right. Now the state's attorney seem to think that it's a deal for us to be in a jail cell. They think that's a good deal. They think that's some good shit to offer you as part of this deal, a part of this agreement, a part of this plea deal. They think it's a great idea for you to sit in the cell for 50 years and in exchange, they get to use your credit however they want. And they create municipal bonds. And with those municipal bonds, they pay these city workers and they pay these state workers. Hella bonuses. The executives, they get bonuses. They're able to invest in unions and side businesses and all this other shit and get rich. Because you agree right there in the courtroom for them to be able to monetize all of this, securitize it. So what they doing sneaky. What they doing sneaky, and it's unfair business practices. But don't they tell you we gotta handle the business of the court? You ever heard some shit like that? We gotta handle the business of the court. Court business. He tell you right there and there what they doing. Business. Oh, if it's business, then y'all definitely need to be what? Getting the invoice from us then. Since y'all saying it's court business, I got business too. So the agreement for the security interest is what create money, man. The security interest is what create money. The interest in the security, which is whatever collateral is pledged, the value of the collateral is what create the money through the security interest. So That's just about much talking as I feel like doing right now because I'm finna go do some other shit, but leave them motherfucking teens alone. Planet of the Apes, bitch.